I don't use the...
Sam! Stop it! You can't hold the man if you're going to do that.
Hi, welcome to Hillpress Audio. I'm Mischa.
I'm Jennifer.
I'm Mackenzie.
I'm Sam.
So this week we have Sam and Mackenzie. So tell us a little bit about yourselves and some background, like the standard, what's your name, what's your major, do you have any minors, do you do research, why are you an honor student, just that. No. What's your name, what's the name and major introduction? What's the introduction you usually give?
Sure, I'll go. So my name is Sam Muriello. I'm a senior who's lived in Hillcrest all 4 years. I'm majoring in math. I'm in the accelerated program, so I'll be beginning a master's starting next year. So I'll still be around in Blacksburg. I've studied a lot of random different things. I did music for a little while, I did computer science for a little while, and I love Hillcrest an unreasonable amount.
I'm Mackenzie. I am also a senior who's lived in Hillcrest all 4 years, also in the accelerated program, but material science and engineering, not math.
You have a math minor, though.
No, I don't. Oh my gosh.
There's still time.
I have a green engineering minor. I'm a TA for 2 different classes this semester. I do research. I'm going to get my PhD.
I like how you're already
Oh,
selling the
and I'm in
PhD.
Solstice. I'm in a cappella group. And I do church stuff. All the things. Okay.
What's your church?
Newman.
I do church stuff is the most underwhelming statement compared to the actuality that I've ever heard in my whole life.
All right, let's dive into the stuff you actually do. Okay, you TA 2 classes. Which 2 classes do you TA?
I TA for the intro green engineering class, and then also the intro MSc class for people who either failed it last semester or who are coming in and for some reason they didn't start in the fall semester. So it's an interesting group of humans.
What is green engineering? Because it's kind of it's more of an emerging field or a loosely defined idea or like a niche thing. It's not something that you like when you Google you get a consistent universal answer about what green engineering means. So what does it mean here at Tech, or what's your interpretation?
I mean, I think that's pretty much the interpretation. The intro class and the other life cycle assessment class that you have to take for the minor, like everything else you can choose what you want. Those 2 are very much just like, we're going to give you the flavor of what you should probably talk to like your company about and be like, hey, we should probably be considering like green ideas and, environmental things. So pretty much the same. It's a little bit ambiguous, but I think the 2 main classes do an actual good job of being able to say, okay, you can't just not put numbers with things and say this is good or bad for the environment. You have to actually put numbers and calculate. So you can actually say that a paper bag is better than a plastic bag at a certain point.
What's some of the advice that you would give to underclassmen about their like upcoming experiences or future freshmen?
Can it be Sam's turn now?
Sam can jump in whenever.
Sure,
we did ask a lot of very targeted questions at you because you were like, I do things.
College is different than high school, and you're going to want to do everything, and you're also going to want to do nothing, and you should do like somewhere in the middle of that. So, like very generic advice that you're going to hear from 100,000 other people. Go to Gobbler Fest, join a club. Maybe you hate it, worst case scenario. Best case scenario, you like meet your spouse or your best friend or someone ridiculous in that club. Or it becomes your life for 4 years, like Hillcrest became for me. You're going to hate classes, and that's okay. Like 2/3 of people change their major sometime in the first 2 years. So if you don't like what you're doing as much as you thought you might, or you're not doing as well as you thought you would, that's not a sign that you're useless or that you're that everything's going horribly wrong. Like sometimes you just need to reevaluate yourself, and sometimes that means changing places, and that's okay. Most people are or were in the same place that you were. Also, don't be afraid to drop a class. Like the one thing I wish that I knew right away is that dropping a class is not the same as quitting. Sometimes the class isn't right for you because the professor isn't a good fit, or because you took 19 credits and you just can't handle that right now, or because you decide that you would rather focus on taking on an important role in that club that you joined than doing those 19 credits, even though you think you could do it if you really wanted to. Like, it's all about pacing yourself and finding what's right for you, and college is different for everybody, and try to find the best college experience for you, because you're only here for, 3 to 5 years, and after you're done, and everyone says that you're going to want to be back, and they're all right.
Okay, so you've done some Gerardo semesters. Can you explain what that means?
Yeah, so Gerardo was a junior when I was a freshman. And his philosophy, which I love sometimes and did for a long time, is you have at Virginia Tech the opportunity to drop a class in the first 6 weeks. And like I said, that's not quitting. You can take advantage of that system if you want and take more classes than you are capable of finishing at the beginning of the semester. Figure out which ones you anticipate you will do well in and enjoy, drop the other ones, and finish with the semester that you wanted. In that way, first of all, you get exposure to more classes, which means that the next semester, if you start a class that you started before, you have the first 4 to 6 weeks already done, which might mean you have a much easier time in relearning that material and then going on to future material. In addition, with that approach, as long as you don't start failing literally everything, you always have the opportunity to drop a couple of classes that you might not do well in and still have a strong semester with a large number of credits. Gerardo and I tend to take that to the extreme. The maximum number of credits that you're supposed to take is 19. The maximum number that I took was 28. I believe that Gerardo took 29 once. We are crazy people.
Well,
I do not recommend that
you finish 29? What did you drop to?
The largest number I finished in a semester was 25. The largest number that I started with was 28.
You can really push the methodology. The important thing to take away from that is that at Virginia Tech there is a system, and that system allows you to drop a class that you feel maybe not be a good fit in your first 6 weeks, which is just super useful. And people don't tell you to really just take advantage of that the way that you could. I don't know, especially coming in as a freshman. Yeah.
The genuine takeaway from that is you should never start a semester with less than 15 credits, ever, ever, ever in your entire college career. Never start a semester with less than 15 credits, even if your complete and utter intention is to do 12 credits that semester, because then you have 6 weeks to figure out if you made the correct choice. And best case scenario, or not even best case scenario, perhaps it works out that that's exactly what you do. You drop that extra class, you take 12 credits, everything goes well. Or maybe you find out one of those 4 classes you wanted to take has a horrible professor, or you really don't understand it and you're going to fail, or you just hate it a lot. You need to have the opportunity to drop that, and if you do not have a 3-credit buffer in the form of another class, you can't drop. So always try to have a buffer so that you can drop a course if you need to.
Sometimes you just know, though, because this semester, which is the least I've ever done, is 14, and it's literally just senior design, and then I already know all the professors in my department, and so I know which ones are going to be good, and so I didn't have to do anything.
It has a lot to do with department size.
Yeah.
Because I can't take any of my classes early.
I think a lot of what that applies to is CLEs.
Yeah.
If you're I'm going to take 12 credits, one of those credits is going to be Intro to Acting, right? Intro to Acting is a really fun class that I took, right? But I had, I think, were you in the group that you were taking the same semester I did with a different teacher, right? And you did not enjoy your professor.
Yeah, no, I could have, I've done acting a lot. This was neither enjoyable nor informative. I was too advanced to benefit from the information that she was giving, but too not advanced enough to appreciate it, I guess, is the way that I would phrase it. And it also, because it was oriented at a higher level than most of the intro classes, just wasn't as much fun as it should have been.
Yeah, but if you look in Kufers, Intro to Acting is one of the easiest A classes or something, right? It's recommended as so you could easily do a 12-credit semester with being this is gonna be the easiest thing in my entire life. I'm taking Intro to Acting one of these. Go in, right? And all of a sudden it's way more work or way not enjoyable, right? And then you can't switch, right? So you should I don't know, for CLEs it's really relevant because there's a lot of professors in a subject that you've never touched before. It's a really useful trick for that.
I forgot about taking CLEs. It's been so long.
Oh, I thought you meant you're not graduating because you really just forgot.
No, I
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
No, I came in with a lot of CLE credit, just in the form of APs, and then my study abroad, I got retroactive credit to apply those for different CLEs. One of my general pieces of advice is get to know someone in your department who has authority. In this case, it's an assistant professor who's got major sway within the department because she's excellent. And she's kind of an advisor. I'm not sure. really not sure who my advisor is, but I always go to her. The money department's gone through transition.
Tips for anyone who's wondering, you can find that information usually on HookieSpot.
Yes.
It's listed, I can't remember exactly where it's listed, but it's listed on HookieSpot. Like your actual advisor,
Some sort of
the
information.
person like is like listed as part of your general information as part of your college.
Yeah.
Fun fact, if you have multiple majors, only your primary major's advisor shows up. You have to go in and speak to a human in order to find out in your secondary major. Like, I was like, hey, can you tell me who my math advisor is? And they were just like, no. Come talk to us.
But yeah, don't be afraid to ask for credit if you think you've earned it. So I basically wrote like a small paper saying, these are all the things I did on my study abroad. This is how I think it fits into the CLE credits, because the CLE, the parts we're supposed to cover are this, and this is what I did. And I got CLE credit for that without having to take extra classes.
I have to do that tonight for honors credit.
Yeah, I think that's an important point is, what did I write down here? Something, I don't know.
What is on your page of notes, by the way?
Okay.
It just says spy.
Oh, I said if you want something to change, don't complain about it, just make it happen. Like, you have to, the
Can
worst...
you say that forcefully?
If you want something to
you were
change.
you're just like, this is this inspirational quote from Mackenzie, but I'm gonna say it like I read it in a book and don't believe it.
No, it's just like so like stupid that people will literally look at their tests that they get back and be like, oh yeah, I thought I got this right because like in the book you can see that this does this and this does this, and they're like, oh well. I'm like, dude, go talk to the professor. Like, holy crap, like what are you doing? You could get points back. Like, oh my gosh.
I was like, I'm not a TA, but I'm a grader, and it's the same kind of a thing. If you have an argument with me, I am willing, if not eager, to say, like, you prove to me more that you have learned the material if you come and talk to me about it.
Yeah.
Which is ultimately, in my mind, the purpose of a test is to prove that you learn the material.
Yep. So, yeah, so that annoys me when people don't like try for things just because they think it's going to be too hard when it really could just be like one conversation with one person, and it's like, oh, that made my life so much easier. So yeah.
Right. What's your favorite Hillcrest memory?
There's a long list here. The
This
first
is-
the first one that comes to mind is the night that we stayed up all night playing Mario Kart.
Do you want to tell the whole story for the listeners?
Sure. This happened freshman year. So I was up doing homework. I had like probably about 2 hours more of math homework to do, and I finished about an hour and a half of it. And then me and a bunch of people who were older than me at the time. So Gerardo, who I mentioned before, Ryan Canner. I don't actually remember everyone who was there. A couple other people.
Is that there?
I don't think Bazek was there.
Seems like a very
It's very Bazek thing. I don't think he was there. But we just started playing Mario Kart at the time. We had to double dash set up in the lounge, so we were playing 4 people. We started this at like 11. I was like, you know what? No, maybe it might have been. Yes, definitely.
Franken-Wii.
That was a
Franken-Wii.
long time ago. Yeah, that was a Wii where in order to make the gameplay, you have to spin the disc with your hand because the motor on the thing.
It didn't start that way. It got to that point, and then that was Ryan Canner's fix.
It was real rough. So anyway, we started, and it was like 11:30. I was like, yeah, I can play for an hour. Like, I've been working for a long time. My brain's not working right now. I need a mental break. We started Mario Kart at around 11:30, and we finished Mario Kart at around 5 a.m. My homework was due at 8 a.m. We played, like, baby park single course races with items on high frequency, where the winner was just the person who got the best item. We probably played that for 2 hours. We beat the entire all cup tour at 50 cc, which is a very tedious process. Finally, we finished at like 5 in the morning, and then everyone's like, we're going to Waffle House. I was like, yeah, so we went to Waffle House. And then we got back, and everyone else was like, all right, good night, I'm going to bed. And I was like, I have homework due in 45 minutes.
Wait, was this freshman year?
Yeah.
So this is our math class.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I like probably walked to your door like having not slept.
Yeah.
That was it. We went to go eat afterwards, remember? And I was just like was gonna go to work, and I was like, I'm not gonna do this. I'm just gonna go home.
Yeah. That
Wait,
was
working
fun.
in Poe?
Yeah, back when I was in math info.
What's been your favorite Hillcrest experience? Do you even know?
Well, okay, so I really liked all the, what are those called?
Seminars.
Yeah, I liked all the seminars. I think those were cool. Like I got to do a spy, how to be a spy seminar, and the connection of art and science, and
Who led a connection of art and
Spy
science?
yeah. hmm
Because that's her really big thing that she's very passionate about.
And also currency of the world. That was really cool.
I forgot that was one.
Yeah.
You took a bunch of the ones I didn't take.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you led PR seminar, and then I ran a Redstone seminar, and then we stopped having seminars.
There was one more in there somewhere.
Oh, I have to send an
Well-
email for board game seminar.
Wasn't there one where we had to do read The Economist?
Oh, I did that one semester when I was confused about the not being able to do the
You
other
were in
one.
my seminar freshman year. That was freshman seminar. We didn't do that. We hung out with Papillon and talked about God.
No,
Was
not-
there-
not-
it was
okay,
a
there's two
It was
semesters.
a semester afterwards.
Yeah, the second semester freshman year we had to do The Economist.
There was
And
one
I
other
died.
thing, but you had to.
Or a reading seminar. Or
There was
something.
one
I was
more-
like, no, I'm not gonna
Yeah,
read 10 books.
Yeah, there was like an
I don't
actual
read my
reading
own
seminar.
textbooks. Like,
I don't understand who came up with the other seminar idea, but they were like the next semester everyone was like, these. We're doing these because they count.
yeah. Oh, but I would say another like really good memory of Hillcrest and just sort of like the community feel and stuff is that before my solstice concerts, we would always go to Dietz and sing and randomly whatever. And so I would just text Sam or text Azri or whatever and be like, hey, or Shira, and just be like, hey, we're going to sing at Dietz. And then all of Hillcrest would just come and get ice cream and watch us sing and
I do
stuff.
miss that. We did
So-
that a lot.
So what's Solstice? Because we tell me background.
It is Virginia Tech's premier all-female a cappella group, which just means that we were the first because that's what the word premier means. But yeah, basically I get to sing really low in this group, which is really nice. And we have a concert on April 8th. Yeah. Oh, I should give my freshman advice.
Yeah. What's your advice to freshmen?
I would just say, do what makes you happy. If you're doing something and you're like, about it, stop doing it. And don't feel like you have to do what somebody defines as the college experience. I do not enjoy people or parties. Therefore, I do not do parties. So, yep, those are my things.
Not to counter that, but to augment that, you're only in college for 4 years. Yeah, if there was ever a time for you to try something new, this is it. This is the best 4 years for you to try something new in your life. So go for it, and then if it sucks, stop going for it.
It may not seem like it right now, or when you're in college, but this is the point in your life where you have the most control over your time. So I just pulled up the calculator app on the computer, because I can't do this in my head anymore, and that's kind of sad. 168 hours in a week. You sleep for 8 hours each day. You have 112 hours per week. Not everyone sleeps for 8 hours a day, but I'm trying to give a reasonable.
What do you sleep for?
Like
6? A lot of people sleep for 6.
6
Okay.
is my goal. 4.5 is my minimum.
Okay, so we talked about credit hours. So you were at 25, which is more.
What's the value? Isn't it supposed to map?
The
one
idea
to
is
one
that
to
you
three?
the idea is that you
One to
triple
three.
it, and that should be roughly your total work. Some professors say you're supposed to triple it, and that's your homework time, but that's just not reasonable.
That's stupid.
So let's say even then that you triple it, and that includes both going to class and doing the work. So
So
even-
double it.
We're gonna assume you're going to class because I feel like I am obligated to tell you to go to class, and also as a TA, your life is easier when you go to class. Like, if you don't want to make the effort to go to class, you're not gonna want to make the effort to learn the material on your own. It's gonna suck either way, but someone's being paid to tell you the information. That's just my 2 cents on it. But let's say you triple the amount, and that's 75, so you have at least 50 hours, even with a jam-packed academic schedule, that you have control over. Most of us take between 15 and 18. That's so much time that you can put to whatever you want to do. So take advantage of that time. Join clubs, do something silly, start playing Minecraft. Don't start playing Minecraft. You'll never stop.
Quit Minecraft. That's a life change.
Yeah. It is.
The honors pitch is do research. If you have extra time, do research. If you have extra time, talk to professors, and then do research.
I mean,
Honestly, like, I don't know. I started doing research my senior year, and I feel like it was late. I really enjoy research, so I think you should start research earlier. But it's not for every discipline. I don't know. Computer science has a lot of opportunities, though. So if you, like, even consider it,
Well,
you should go for it in CS.
and even then, you can do research outside of your major. Like, if you don't like any of the faculty in your department, one that's maybe a sign about your department. But even if you love the major and, like, enjoy the classes but just don't want to work with any of the faculty one-on-one, I'm assuming there's a related discipline and they might do research. Like, I'm a mining engineer and I work with the engineering ed department.
Oh yeah, my research was in biochemistry. It was definitely CS work, but like the actual credits were biochem.
Also, sometimes it's fun to just, I'm under the assumption that if you're coming to college that you love learning. And I know that assumption does not hold for a lot of people, but most honors people, I feel like it does hold. And so, I don't know, sometimes a fun Friday night for me is just going on Wikipedia and clicking random and reading the whole article and then doing it again.
I mean, I've done that.
So you can learn random stuff too, because like Jennifer said, this is pretty much the most time you're ever going to get. And so use it however you want to use it.
Like, it's okay to binge watch Netflix because you have time for that now.
You're learning things when you binge watch Netflix.
Yes, but don't mistake that for many of the opportunities you can get on campus also, from interacting with people, from reading scholarly papers that you have access to now for free for the first time and maybe the last time.
Okay, final notes. Do the things. This is college. Thank you very much.
I'm gonna repeat those final notes, but in my voice. Do the things. This is college.
Oh man.
This has been Hillpress Audio. I'm Jennifer.
I'm Mischa.
I'm Mackenzie.
I'm Sam.
And we'll see you next time.